and share what I do. I've got that. So what I do is, I'm a body love mindset coach. So I know that there are a lot of coaches out there that help with, body stuff, and generally they're helping with nutrition and they're helping with fitness. And the way that I work is completely different in that I don't even mention nutrition or fitness when I work with clients. I really work with the mind and looking at the beliefs that they have, because when you look in the mirror, what is going to be reflected back at you is really the reflection of the beliefs that you hold about yourself. And it's so interesting that so many people have subconscious sabotaging beliefs about themselves, which stop them from really being able to love themselves on that really deep level. So that is how I work. It's purely just with mindset. I don't go into anything else. I literally just work on the beliefs. And I've always had a little bit of a fascination with the mind and the belief system. I worked as a hypnotherapist from, when I was in my 20s. I was always fascinated with how the mind and our thoughts can actually, impact us physiologically, and how our thoughts can impact our immune system, and just the way that we show up in the world. And I've always been obsessed with looking at how do you change those beliefs at a really deep level, because it's not always easy. Sometimes we can be so hell-bent on saying, right, today I'm going to be so kind to myself, I'm going to love myself, I'm going to do my affirmations, and and then all of a sudden we've wound up back to self-sabotaging, and we've fallen off the wagon, and we're doing all the things that we promised ourselves that we wouldn't do. So I've always been really curious as to why that happens and how the mind works. And I really want to share this with you, because I feel like everybody needs to know this, because so many people beat themselves up thinking it's their fault, thinking that it's really they're self-sabotaging because they're not good enough, or they're not worthy enough, or they're not capable enough, or they're not significant enough, or they're not perfect, or they feel like maybe they don't belong. And those are like the sabotaging beliefs that can just they can just keep us in that trap. They keep us in this trap of not being able to move forward. And so we can compare ourselves to other people. And then when we compare ourselves, we can be like, oh, well, I don't look like her, I don't look like him, or the person on Instagram, or on the reality TV shows, or, sadly, we are set up like this in society. We're set up to fail. We're set up to fail because we have these ideological, societal standards of beauty, yes, which we do. And I know that you actually in the whole beauty, the beauty industry, that the bar is set high. It's set so high, and we're fed these.
Probably at the lowest rung, but I know what you mean.
You know what I mean, right? You know about the marketing behind everything. The marketing behind everything sets us up for failure, sets us up for not feeling good enough and not feeling worthy enough. And I just want to be that voice, that whisper in these women's ear that they are good enough, that they are worthy enough. They just have been set up with deep subconscious beliefs that tell them otherwise. That's the angle that I come from, because I personally believe that when a woman deeply, deeply loves herself, deeply, deeply respects herself, and looks after herself and fills up that emotional cup of hers, there's nothing more powerful. There's nothing more powerful, because I believe that women have the hearts that and the nurturing, the natural caretaking abilities to heal the entire planet.
Yeah,
That's my
woman rule.
they really do. They really do. But we're our own worst enemies. We're our own worst enemies. And it's not that anybody is broken. It's not that anybody is broken or they're not beautiful enough or they're not skinny enough or they're not perfect enough. It's nothing to do with that. It's that we hold ourselves in this prison of not enoughness. And that can be really hard to escape from. So that's what I do with the modality that I work with, is that I help on that really deep level to change those let's call them unhelpful beliefs that we might have about ourselves. So if you have grown up with a belief that and everybody's different, everybody's different because everybody's had a different experience when they've grown up. But if you've grown up with a deep belief of, let's say, I have to be, and I'm just going to throw out an example that actually comes up quite a lot. I have to be a certain size in order for me to feel safe, in order for me to feel validated, in order for me to feel loved. Those are the very deep subconscious programs that a lot of us are walking around with. And some of us don't even know it. They're just going around like their normal day, just doing what they do, not completely unaware that they have these conditions, this conditioning in their mindset. And I just want to explain a little bit in case people are curious about how the subconscious mind rules the day in our waking, when we just walk out of the house and we walk around. Anything that's deep in our subconscious program is just going to be reflected back to us. For example, if we deeply believe on a subconscious level that the world is a friendly place. Let's say we have that deep belief within us. We've grown up with that conditioning. That's how we walk around. That's what we will experience in the world, because that's what our mind will feed back to us all the time. And just as detrimentally, if we have grown up with a deep-seated belief of, I have to look a certain way, or I have to be a certain size in order for me to be somebody, in order for me to feel worthy, then if you're not that particular size, or you don't look that certain way, you will never ever feel that deep sense of self-worth. It's just a losing battle. So our subconscious minds, it's running the show 95% of the time. So I explain to my clients that the mind's a bit like an iceberg. So we've got the tip of the iceberg, that's called like the conscious mind, and that's operating only 5% of the time. And that's the part of you that wants the change, that wants to, well, I'm going to do things differently today. I want to be more positive, or I want to be kinder to myself. That's that 5%, the tip of the iceberg. But underneath the iceberg, 95% of the time, those are your subconscious programs playing over and over and over again. So when it comes to wanting to make change, it's like the 95% will always win, because it's bigger and it's stronger, and it's really what makes you you, whether you want it or not. It's that's the hard part, which is why affirmations and things can be so difficult. It can be really hard work. Positive thinking can be really hard work. It's because it's that 5%. That's why. So what I do with the modality that I work with, it's called psych-K. And what that does is that it works to make change on that big 95%, the deep subconscious beliefs that in the mind, and really help reprogram those deep beliefs that you have about yourselves, which aren't necessarily serving you. So it's a simple process that I do. and I work one-on-one doing the psych-K sessions. I work one-on-one. So I would have somebody in front of me and we talk about how things are now. So they might be saying something like, I'm just going to make up an example. They might be feeling that they are depressed. They might be feeling like they're overweight. They might be feeling like they don't have that vitality, that life force in their body that they want. So they spend a long time telling me about the story. This is my life. This is what I deal with day by day. And I let them tell the story, but not for too long, because I don't want to keep them stuck in that story. There's no point. It's just a waste of time. The second step that comes with psych-K is figuring out the new destination. So the question is, how do you want things to be instead? How do you want things to be instead? And often we don't think like that because we're so focused in the other direction of what we don't want. Well, I don't want this, and I don't want this, and I'm unhappy about this. We don't spend that much time going in the other direction. This is what I do want. Like a crystal clear decision. This is what I want. So I can help them with that. I can help them with that, figuring out how do you want things to be instead. It's so important. The language of the subconscious, it responds to your direct suggestions. So if you focused this way, I feel fat, I've got no energy, I don't feel like I'm good enough, I feel unworthy, all of that, you're just going in that direction. So I help them come back to this direction a little bit. So how do you want things to be instead? I want to look in the mirror and be able to love what I see. This is something that they don't normally think about. I want to be able to be happy. I want to feel good in my skin. I want to have a great relationship with the person that I love without being paranoid or insecure about my body. So you get them to focus really on what they want. And then it's a really, really simple process. It's about we enter into a process called a balance. And it's basically, we communicate with their subconscious through the process of muscle testing. So there's an element of kinesiology in here as well. And so we communicate through muscle testing, and we find out which is the best balance for them. And it's really about the brain coming back into being whole-brained, because the left and the right hemisphere, they need to be whole brain. They need to be interacting together. We need both the left and the right side of the brain working together. When we've gone into stress mode, we've normally over-identified with the left or the right hemispheres. So psych-K is all about bringing you back into that whole brain position where you can have access to both hemispheres. So we enter something called a balance. And then at the end of the balance, we save it, and we talk about how we're going to engage that new belief in our 3D reality. So they might want to have a belief of, I love what I see in the mirror. So we go through a balance process, which is the easiest, most simplest thing. And then we save that as a new program. So everything that we live with, I kind of compare the mind a bit like a computer. So we could be living on very old programs that just don't serve us, but those are running the show 95% of the time. So I asked, what kind of program would you like to be living on? What kind of new beliefs would you like? If you could choose your beliefs that were running 95% of the time, what would they be? And then with the psych-K process, it's like uploading them. It's like an app that that you no longer want on your phone. You want to have the newest, most efficient app, right? And I compare that like a belief. It's like you want the good beliefs because they run the show 95% of the time. So imagine what your life would look like if you could choose your beliefs, if you could choose the deep beliefs that you have about yourself that would run on autopilot 95% of the time. And then it's like, wow, then the whole idea of us being limitless really opens up, because we really are, we get to choose which beliefs that we want. And if we could only see how our beliefs affect us on our bodies on a physical level, it's pretty mind-blowing. Lee, I don't know if you're familiar with the Dr. Emoto and his Messages in Water. I don't know if you've heard of.
I haven't heard of that. Have you, Karen? No.
I encourage you to go and have a little look when you jump off this call, because he was pretty famous. I think he's recently just died, actually. Dr. Masaru Emoto.
Okay.
He wrote a book called Messages in Water, and he photographed droplets of water that had been programmed, I guess you could say, or sat with somebody sending the intention of a certain emotion. And you can see, he photographs them. You can see the crystalline structures of the water change when they were programmed with certain emotions.
Wow.
And they're such beautiful pictures. It's like artwork. But you can see, for example, one of the pictures I wrote just from memory was a picture of the water had been programmed with "I love you." So somebody had sat over the water and just sending their intention of "I love you" into the water, and he's photographed it, and it's just like the most beautiful structure. It looks like a snowflake. It's beautiful. It's really amazing to look at. And then he's done another one which has been programmed with the thoughts of "I hate you, I want to kill you." And it's pretty extreme, but he's photographed that, and it's like it's a completely different molecular structure. The photograph, it doesn't look anything like this beautiful, pristine "I love you." And if you think about our body being made up of, what are we, 70-80% water?
Yeah.
More? I don't know.
Karen, on the 80%, I think. I'm not sure.
80% water. If you think about our cells that we have, they are being influenced by our thoughts all the time. So if we're looking in the mirror and getting the message of, "Oh, I hate you, I wish I was different, I'm looking old, I'm looking weight, I'm looking ugly," we're sending that message to ourselves. And that is really, it's detrimental to our health. It's detrimental to our immune system. We're not as effective or efficient in our bodies if we're being programmed like that. Versus if we're looking in the mirror and we're able to tell ourselves, gratitude is a great way of changing the way that we feel, and appreciation, that's like the step one of how to reprogram, is going into gratitude and appreciation. It's just so easy. It's just so easy to change the molecular structure of our bodies. I mean, we all know how much we appreciate it if someone is appreciating us. Like if our friend or our partner says to us, "I really appreciate you for whatever it is that you do." How do you feel inside? You feel good, right? You feel warm and you feel fuzzy and you feel like, "Oh, that's nice." And that's actually, it's a scientific thing. There are chemical changes going on in the body when we feel like that. And we can do that to ourselves. We don't have to wait. Sorry.
That's okay.
Right. We don't have to wait for other people to do it for us. We don't have to wait for someone to tell you, "I love you." You can do this for yourself. And I think that's the most empowering thing that you can do, is being able to treat yourself like that, to treat yourself to that appreciation. And we don't do it enough. What's that, Lee?
I said that's really good.
Yeah. One of the exercises that I'd give my clients, also Lee, just tell me about time, okay? Because I'm not looking at the time. Tell me if I'm going.
You just go for it. That's fine. We're loving this.
Okay. One of the exercises that I give to my clients is mirror work. And this is something that we can all do. Anybody that's watching, you don't need to go down the psych-K process for this. This is a takeaway tool that anyone can do. And it's probably one of the most powerful tools that I have ever done. And that's looking in the mirror. And I give my clients 3 things that they have to do. And if you want to write this down to take away, please do. The first thing is looking in the mirror before you start the process. I always encourage hand on the heart. Mm-hmm. The reason for hand on the heart is because when we're coming from our critical mind, the one that picks everything apart, when we normally look in the mirror, we're up here in our survival brains, the part that's designed to keep us safe from threats. So it will see everything as a threat. It will see aging as a threat. It will see lines, it will see wrinkles as a threat. And when the brain sees and registers a threat, it sends cortisone through the body. It sends us into a small level of fight, flight. And then what happens is that feeds back to even more looking for what makes us afraid, why should we be scared? So I always start by saying, put your hand on your heart. It is so important. It takes you out of the survival brain and back down into the body. And this is, the heart is a very, very powerful electromagnetic portal to the soul, really, our soul truth. So hand on the heart, out of the survival brain, hand on the heart. Look into the mirror and start with the first thing, which is saying your name. So I would say, Diana, looking into the mirror. The next thing that you would say is, I am so proud that. I am so proud that. And this is now an exercise for you to come up with 5 things that you are proud of. So 5 things that you are proud of, and you're going to list them. Now, this is not necessarily going to be an easy exercise for everyone. In fact, this is probably going to be horrendous for some people, especially if you do get that fight, flight looking in the mirror. So I am so proud that you, and it's like after your name. So I would say something like, okay, Diana, I am so proud that you came on and talked to leaders today and spread your message with other people. I'm so proud that you made everybody in your family breakfast this morning and everybody was well fed. I'm so proud that you did some of the things on your to-do list today. I'm so proud that you got up and you did your mirror work again. I'm so proud that you were doing the work that you were doing. Those would be my 5 things. And you can see I can reel them off quite easily because I do this every day, but it's not easy to start with. It can feel very, very unnatural, and it can be very, very confronting. And if you are at that stage where you do feel like this is a confronting exercise, then take it slow and just be really kind to yourself. Maybe just come up with 2 things, maybe just 1 if you can.
I just want to let you know there are some people on Facebook watching, so
okay. I can't
be listening. We'll do, if you got any questions, just type them in the chat.
Yes, please do, and then I'll maybe tell me, because I can only see you, Lee, on my screen. Okay, the second thing that you're going to write down, which you're going to be doing in the mirror, you say your hand on the heart again, you say your name. I would say, Diana, I forgive you for. Now, this is a biggie. This is a real biggie, because sometimes we hold ourselves in that punishment. I'm not going to forgive you because you shouldn't have done that. You need to be perfect. And if that's your program of you need to be perfect, which was mine for a long time, need to be perfect. So I forgive you for, I forgive you for, hand on the heart, I forgive you for 5 things. If you can do it, 5 things. It's not easy, all right? It is confronting work, but I promise you the benefits of this are unbelievable. It's really freeing to your soul. The third thing, again, hand on the heart, you say your name and you talk to yourself as if you were talking to your best friend, because we talk to our best friends with, we're so much nicer. We're so much nicer to our best friends. Like, we let them off the hook so much easier than we do ourselves, right? So the third thing that you would say, hand on heart, Diana, I commit to you. I commit to you that. I commit to you that. And that's 5 things. 5 things. I commit to you that. And this might be tricky. It might be, sometimes people don't, I don't know what to say with this one. I don't know, what am I committing to myself for? It seems like such a huge thing, but don't make it a huge thing. It's not a big deal. Diana, I commit to you that. I commit to you that I will come on and I will do my mirror work every day this week. That's what I'm going to commit to myself that. I commit to you that I will give myself real nourishment this week. I'm going to choose really nourishing food that make me feel good. I commit to you that I will forgive you if you mess up today. Things like this. I mean, that's just a few examples, but you come up with your own commitments, and you stick with them as best that you can. And you do this every single day. And I would recommend that you do this every single day for 30 days and just see the changes in your life that happen. Just see the way that you talk to yourself. What's the inner self-talk? Is it still going to be self-depreciating, or is it going to be that you start to make friends with the mirror? Because that's a big deal for a lot of people, is being comfortable even looking in the mirror. Now, I've had clients that don't even have mirrors in there because it's just too stressful for them. They can't look in the mirror. So having a little mirror like this one, having a little mirror, a little compact mirror like that, amazing, is such a good little tool, because you're not necessarily looking at the whole body. It's a good way to start off. And then as you get more and more more and more confident in yourself and in your body, then move up to a bigger mirror and do it. So that is one of the exercises that I would recommend, that I would do with my clients along with the psych-K, is to do something like this, which is mirror work. It will change your life. It really will. And it's so simple. It is so simple. Anybody can do this. It is just, can you keep going? That's the thing, is, can you keep going? Can you do it for 30 days? Because you will start to see a shift. And the stress and the anxiety that a lot of people have from looking in the mirror just goes down and down and down. The more you continue the practice, the more that you do it, it's a life changer. Now, I got this particular technique from Lisa Nichols, who's one of my favorite self-love teachers. And I just loved it so much. I decided to do it for myself and see what happened. And it was a real game changer. And you can do different things every day, or, the same things might come up for your, I forgive you that, I commit to you that. They might be different, but just keep going, because they will make such a big difference in your life, really.
So once a day, I know that Kayleen is on Facebook and she says she loves mirror work.
Yes, good.
Yeah, so that's good, and I'm going to give it a go and put out a challenge there. Karen said she's going to give it a go.
Yes, good. I'm so glad. It's such a beautiful thing to do. And another one, if you want another practice to do, not overwhelming you if you want another practice to do.
Not at all. Give it to us.
Is I talked a little bit earlier about gratitude and appreciation and how that, you know, physically changes your body. It physically changes it. I do this in the shower in the morning. It's like you go through a gratitude practice of your body. So as you wash your body, you can thank that body part. Thank you for being there, because it's so easy to take for granted, isn't it? Especially if you have a program of, oh, you know, I hate my body because I'm not X, Y, or Z. Okay, perfect, for example. It's very easy to then hyper focus on that body part, isn't it? And tear it apart and be like, oh, that's my worst part. That's, oh, that bit's ugly, or that bit's, I don't like that, or I cover it, or I hide it. It's very, very easy to do that, but you can go the other way. You can go into appreciation and you can go into gratitude, which is one of the easiest, most powerful ways of changing how you feel within yourself. So in the shower, this is what I do. And I go and I wash all my body parts, and I'd be like, for example, like my hands, my fingers, thank you. Thank you for my hands and my fingers, so I can touch things and I can, you know, do my work and I can type. You know, thank you for my eyes, because I get to see, and not everybody is so blessed. Thank you for my nose. I get to smell. I get to enjoy my food through the smell of it. Thank you for my mouth, that I can taste, that I can talk, that I can be talking with you here today. And you just go on, you know, go out through the whole body. And I challenge you to not feel amazing by the time that you've done that. I challenge you to not feel amazing. It's impossible, because it's focus. And we all have such a power to focus our thinking in whichever direction we want to. But if that 95% is telling us to focus on the negative, that's what we'll focus on. That's where we'll go most of the time. And that's automatic. That's not even something that you think about. But we all have the ability to consciously focus. We use that 5%. We can focus on whatever we want. And whatever thought that we think, our brain creates a chemical. Whatever thought that we think, our body creates a corresponding chemical. So if we're always thinking in the negative, if we're in self-depreciation, if we're putting ourselves down, we are creating those chemicals in the body which match that emotion all the time. And I get my clients to sit, and I get them to think about, all right, if you close your eyes right now and you say the things that you say to yourself on a regular basis that are not very nice, right? Whatever it is. And I just get them to sit and just see how it feels. Say it on a loop and just see how your body feels when you say it. For me, like, I feel like quite constricted, and I feel just like a bit heavy. I don't feel happy. Feel quite, you know, heavy and deflated. And then do the same process, but think about things that will lift you up. You know, maybe your gratitude, maybe it's the bits that you do like about yourself. Maybe just say something kind. Say something kind to yourself, and just see the difference. How does it feel? How does it feel in the body when you do it? Is there is there more vitality? Is there more life force energy there? So it's a really good benchmark to see how powerful you are. We're all so, so powerful, and we've all got the ability to think and use our thoughts in a way that can either build us up or beat us up. It's really simple. It's really, really simple. We all have the ability to do that. The way that you can focus on your mirror and do your mirror work, and you can also have like I'm just having a look to see if I've got any affirmation cards. I don't think I've got any around here. But you can make your own beautiful affirmations. What do you wish to believe? What do you wish was true about yourself? That's very focused thought, is an affirmation. An affirmation would be something that is present tense, that is emotionally meaningful for you, and it's it makes you feel good. So like an affirmation is like, I am vital and full of energy. It's a great affirmation to stick on your mirror, you know, and that's, it's all going in, you know, that's a one way of changing subconscious beliefs, is like it's all filtering down into the subconscious. If we have these things up, you can stick a whole load of affirmations around your mirror. You know, I've got a healthy, like vital body. My body is beautiful. Like I'm full of energy. I'm full of love. I feel amazing. These things, you know, they're the polar opposite to I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, or I'm not capable, I'm not significant, I'm not perfect. You know, all of these things, we want to go completely in the other direction for it to filter down into the body and for it to become that 95%.
That's amazing. I just realized that I don't even pay attention to my body. Maybe I'm blocking it. I do my lips and my eyes. That's what I see.
Yeah,
So,
that's where you put your focus. That's where you've got your focus. And yes, maybe you are blocking it. Maybe you are. I don't know. I don't know.
When I do my gratitude in the shower, I'll see if it makes me feel, or if it's like, okay, you know. So
yes,
been awesome.
yeah.
So what age groups do you find you help the most?
Well, I've got a group at the moment, which is I did a body love challenge not so long ago, which I've now turned into a self-love community group. And in that group, I've got women who, I think the youngest is 20 and the oldest is in her, I think, 65. So it's quite a big and that's the thing, like, yes, it affects everybody. Like nobody escapes this. Nobody escapes negative programming. Nobody escapes, especially in the world that we live in, with the images that we see in the Photoshop and the adverts and the weight loss companies. Nobody escapes it. It's like you just got to do the work. You've just got to do the work, because if we decide to go on autopilot, then we're just going to get back whatever's there.
I noticed with my granddaughters that they, from years ago, they're like, I'm fat. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you're not fat at all. So they, you know, they get influenced by, you know, people on TikTok and YouTube and young mums and stuff. So
and we can't escape that. There's no way that we can filter that, because it's too big. But what I do tell my clients is if they are on social media a lot, then to only follow accounts that lift them up, you know, that inspire them, that empower them, that make them feel good being who they are, without having to be like anybody else. And we can influence this. We can change the algorithm by who are we following, and making that conscious decision of, this is the amount of time I spend on social media. So I'm feeding my mind. I'm feeding my belief system through what I'm watching. So and I only follow, like, I'm on Instagram, I only follow really body positive accounts, and that just, it keeps me in that momentum of where I am right now. We have the choice to do that. I never buy magazines, I just don't do it to myself, because I can go down that path of, how comparison and looking at myself compared to others. And I know the power of focus very, very well. So this is what I choose. You know, I choose to only follow these accounts. I choose to keep my thoughts high vibrational, and I choose to believe these things and reprogram my own subconscious so that I only get that in my day-to-day reality. Because life is too short. Life is too short to keep beating yourself for not being perfect. It is, right? Like,
and you can feel, I'm sure the ladies will agree with me, how happy you are and the energy that you're vibrating outwards. It's so So lovely talking to you today. I'm sure everybody's enjoyed it. So you're on Instagram. We'll put up those links, and and I'm not sure if I'm following you on Instagram, but I'll have a look. And well, we could carry on talking for hours, but we won't. We might book you in for a follow-up after our 30 days of mirror work and affirmations and gratitude.
It will only be amazing. The mirror work will only lead to good things if the trick keeping it up. It really is.
It sounds really good. There you are. There's Lucia's affirmations and everything. Woo! That's good. Lucia's my business coach, so
I see that. I'm gonna watch that back on the replay. I can only see you right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a pity. Yeah. That's fabulous. Do you want to say any last words? Oh, you've gone on to mute. You try and unmute you.
Sorry.
That's okay.
In technology, I just suddenly saw everyone in the gallery view and I got all excited, but then I muted. Last words. You're not broken. You are not broken. You've always been perfect. You were born worthy. We just forgot. That's all. That's
awesome. Thank you so much for coming today. I don't know if Karen or Lucia have got any questions for us. I'll check on Facebook. I'll just ask any questions.
Yes.
Lucia, Karen, have you got any questions for Diana?
No, I don't. Thank you. I took plenty of notes though. So thanks, Diana. It's really helpful.
My pleasure. I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've taken notes. So I'm going to put them up, but you're welcome to correct them in case I got something wrong. Lucia?
I love your work, Diana. I am in the same field as style coach. So that is one of the things that I help women do is rebuild that relationship with their bodies. So it is so powerful, mirror work and journaling. And the beginning of my journey is when I used to teach that. Now I get in and do declutters and, you know, get into the thick of it around that mindset where, you know, things have gone a little awry. So beautiful work, you know, you connect to your body and just the amazing things it does for us. But it was interestingly when I heard you say about not looking from, I have a few ladies that do that. They do not look from a part of the body that they're not dealing with. There's a.
I do it on purpose. It just came to me now while we were talking. It's just
it's a true block. Some people they don't do it consciously. It just happens. So yeah.
I'll have a good look tomorrow. I spent an hour in the bathroom.
I can't help it. I stand up in front of my mirror and I just see myself.
That was there.
Lee, do the happy naked dance.
Yeah.
What's that? You'll have to show me. And also that book you were talking about, Messages in Water, that's really, I've put that on the Facebook link. So I'll put all the links in there.
Oh yeah. Gorgeous. I mean, you can go on YouTube and just type in his name and there'll be loads and loads and loads of things about all the different photographs of the water. It's so good.
I always used to say that about plants. You must, you know, when you're watering your plants, talk to them and love them. And now I'll see your plants behind you are blossoming there. So a lot of love. Hopefully they're not plastic. And Oprah Winfrey used to always say, when you're cooking, you must cook with love. Otherwise, you can taste the love in the food.
You can absolutely
taste the hate in the food.
You can absolutely taste the love in the food. That's why we love eating our grandmothers. You know, like it doesn't taste like it has to be home cooked. It's because the love is there, and we're no different from the plant. We're no different from the plant. Why are we Of course it works for us as well.
Yeah.
Of course it does.
So that's awesome. All right, well, I'll end it here. That was great. I think we were on for 45 minutes, but that's cool. We could carry on going. Thank you so much, Diana. It's been great. You were one of the first spotlight speakers. We had Lucia won the wheel, and then I think there was somebody else, and then you. So thank you so much. And we'll put all the links up if you send them. I'll send you the form, and then you can fill it in, and then I can put in all the information correctly.
Right.
Okay. Thanks everybody for attending, and look forward to seeing you in the next spotlight speaker. Diana, you're a gem. You're really a gem. Honestly, it's been lovely meeting you, and I'm so glad to know you. Thank you for being in the group, and thank you for your contribution. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. Bye now. Bye everybody. Thanks for coming.